Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another Our Town Community Show. I'm really excited today to have my long-term friend and colleague, Brooke Butler, in the house. Brooke, how you doing, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're doing well. We were pre-game prepping, and now it's time for the real thing.
Now it's time for the real thing.
The real thing. Well, we're actually, it's funny, we're taping this right during Holy Week, so there's a lot of stuff going on, and it'll air probably after that. But just, Brooke, for people that don't know you, and I know most people do, but there's a global or national audience, just tell people a little bit about yourself and kind of what makes you tick. You know, what do you look for in people and in life? You know, I guess it's a broad question. How about that?
Yeah, well, I'm practically a native of Atlanta, and I've been here since I was 5, so I guess I can.
Now, where were you before 5?
I was born in Washington, D.C.,
and
then
I didn't know that.
Moved to Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember any
you don't
of
remember
that.
So it doesn't count.
Doesn't really count, I guess, but then been here in Atlanta since I was 5. Graduated from Parkview High School, which is over in Lilburn. Went on to then start a business and doing hair, and I've been doing it ever since. So. And
full disclosure, there might be some in this room she does hair for, and she does a heck of a job. So just saying. But
might be a little biased.
Yeah, a little biased. But no, I mean you're not giving yourself credit. You've built a very successful, with some family members and stuff, business, and some great people there who really buy into y'all's culture of doing the right thing.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's as important to talk about. We're not talking about, hey, call us today for a visit. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking to say, like, in your organizational culture, in business or life, what do you want people to feel? Like, feel part of a team or feel part of, like, I mean, nobody's more important, because I know you're willing to do a little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, especially in my business culture, I mean, I kind of, personal and business kind of coincide a little bit together. But just people that are real, people that want to be successful. They like to take the training and just personal growth. I mean, I feel like life is a journey, so we're going to have ups and downs. And when you're down, it's okay to be down and, you know, to admit that. And then, you know, we'll celebrate when you're up again. And, you know, I really feel like we have a great team. That's what we kind of pride ourselves on, at least at the salon. It's like we walk in, we're one team. Yeah, we're doing individual stuff with individual people, but we come together and we, like a fine oiled machine, basically, and to make it all work.
But what I like, and again, it's not a business related thing, I just think because I get to see that lens of it, is no one's above doing XYZ job. And everybody stays for a long period of time, which means it's a family-like culture, which is a big part of this show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so just like we have our other families, you know, our work families are important too, because everybody needs to feel part of something. But I got to ask you, being that you still style hair, you're not above doing it, you get to hear from a lot of people. I mean, and you're the world's best listener. I mean, you listen and are non-judgmental. I mean, no, I'm serious. I'm saying it, something or other. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to listen today, and then 30 minutes later, I'm like, your therapy's done. Let's go, get out. But no, in the last 2 years, what have you seen, Brooke, the most people kind of 24 months kind of coming out of a pandemic? Have you seen more emotions from people, like exhaustion or frustration? Or I mean, I'm sure you get to hear. There's nobody specifically we're talking about, but what have you heard a lot of?
It's been a lot of up and downs, actually. I mean, you've got your extreme that feel one way, and then the extreme feel the other way. And just being able to appreciate both aspects of that. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty open-minded and, you know, allow people to just vent or
just kind of listen to them?
Yes, of course. I mean, I think that's the most important. I think people just want to be heard in this kind of time frame. I mean, you know, everything is kind of, no one really knows, right? I mean, so we're kind of all in this together, and like I said, people have their differences of opinions, and it's okay. It's okay. There's not a right or wrong way. And
that's what I think is so cool about you as a person, because we're going to get to other parts too, but is that you don't do anything that's like, when you're listening to people, you're not judging them. And I don't think any of us really, it's important for the show, want to be judged. We were talking about before we went on air, we don't want a transactional, hey, Brooke, if I, you know, do this, you know, you'll be my friend for 2 weeks longer. I mean, people need people that are just there in their lives, I think, right? You know, regardless.
I think irregardless of your political standpoints or even religious affiliations, I mean, I think that as a Christian, I think that should be the common denominator. And I feel like what works for your family might not work for my family. Correct. It might look a little bit different, and that's okay too. And I think that just being open-minded and being kind and being just supportive of each other, I think during this time is so important.
Yeah, and I think that's it. From people, you and I, have the same faith, but how we choose to live our lives daily, I think it's actually a little bit similar. In our case, it is
with kids and
but,
stuff. Yeah.
But there's no some man-made creed of like this is exactly what you should do. And so people, to me, they want to see, hey, well, tell me a little bit what's different about you, and you're real, and I want to know more about that.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how you pull people in.
Yes.
And I've said it in the show before. It's not just like, here's a Bible verse, go read that and think about it. Maybe that works for some people, but for me, I'm going to run the other way, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to say, well, tell me, I want to know about you, and then I'll maybe want to know more. So, all right, so let's get into fitness, not just physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness. How important are those to you? I know you've run in the past. Are you back to your running days?
Are
you back to running?
Yes,
okay,
I am.
Good. I'm not. But that's okay.
Well, I just need to call you a running partner, Ryan. I'll be there.
Okay, so I'll tie the running and the haircut together.
There you go, exactly. Just don't ask me to do both at the same time.
Right. No, you're not going to multitask on that. So, but you're back to running, and does that make you feel good?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I feel like that is a mental health and a mental escape for me. And you mentioned the mental health and spiritual health, and I think, when times are great, it's like easy to like have healthy mental health and healthy spiritual health and healthy fitness health or whatever. But, it's when the times are harder that all that comes into play. And I think if you give that up in the good times, you're not preparing yourself for when it's going to get hard again.
Well, we know life is like this.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
You and I've talked about it.
It ebbs and flows, and you're going to have the good times and the bad times.
But the mental probably. That is starting to be discussed more in our world right now.
Yes.
There's a lot of people I know, and I've been frustrated at times too, but over the last 24 months, I don't even know the emotions they have inside.
Oh, yeah. And they probably don't even know the emotions they have inside.
And what's going to happen in a couple of years as this stuff starts coming out?
Yeah.
I don't know that we know.
I don't know that I think it's just an evolving, ongoing thing. I think 20 years ago we didn't know, and I think just research and everything, I think it's kind of gotten to the point now. But I think the greatest thing is that people feel more safe and secure to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so when you get it out of your, like your inside, and you're externalizing it, and then you realize, oh, I'm not the only one that's
not
dealing with this. And
you start talking to people about that, and they're like, oh, really? I thought it was just me. And it's been probably that last thing to come out of society, and people going, I'm really in a down place right now.
Right.
But people before, like, I'm not going to talk about it. And honestly, that makes you feel worse.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so, especially with this 24 months. But, well, let's jump real quick to family. I know your family and your kids and your friends. How important are those bedrock people in your life?
Oh, gosh. I mean, there are no words to tell you how important they are. I mean, my family and I, we're very fortunate. We all actually, most of us live in the same neighborhood. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but
it could be both, depending on the day. You don't know. I mean,
there are lots of pros and cons to that. But yeah, my family is pretty solid, and I have my, close network of friends that that I know that will say to me and be completely honest, like, Brooke, you're being a little like crazy right now. You need to you reel it back in, or just encourage me and celebrate. And I feel like, having those core people in your life, and also, like, for my kids, when you do mess up, I mean, just humbling yourself and being able to say, kids, I've messed up, and then showing them that humility is huge. So I think it's allowed my kids to even feel a little bit safe to come and talk to us too, about things that is going on in their life.
You and I have discussed over the years, my kids are a little bit older, and they watch. And it's funny, the little things that you don't think, they'll say, well, Dad did this wrong, and then but I didn't get it wrong. It's like, I screwed this up royally, but, and that whole, coming back going, but I wasn't made to be perfect, nor do I not fail every minute.
We're all broken hearts.
Right, we're all broken. Yeah. And I think when you see it out of the mouth of babes and they realize, okay, well, I screwed up too, but if Mom or Dad acknowledge that, then it's okay, but I need to learn from it and move forward.
Oh, well, in failure comes like greatness. I mean, I think that's sometimes the only time when you actually like learn and have that personal growth experience of what do I need to change, and okay, God, what do I need to learn from this? And, I think that failure is important no matter what.
I had a thing I said recently, and I said, you sometimes you lead, you fail forward. In other words, if you learn from it, you fail and go. Yep. And I'll tell myself, 15-year younger self, 15 years ago, I would go like, just let that one go.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You tell somebody like, that's just not worth it. It's just not, you're not going to win the battle.
No.
Let it go. Life's too short.
Yep.
And I think that's something that any of our audience can realize. We all do it, but it's realize going, is this really worth the fight for what I'm going to get out of it? And oftentimes the answer is no, or let it sit 24 hours like in sports.
Right. Oh, yeah. I definitely feel like not being impulsive reactions are huge. And like you said, I mean, falling forward instead of falling backwards. I mean, going back and revisiting stuff from the past that isn't important, I mean, it's pointless. I mean, I think moving forward is always
that's all we really can do.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, we have this time we're on air, and then you'll go do what you're doing, I'm doing, but we can't get back 20 minutes ago when we were talking.
Oh, of course.
And that's the we all know that, but it's so true. All right, so we got a few minutes left. Tell me what are you looking for most going into the summer of 2022? I know you miss traveling as much as you have, but some fun or something for the future you're really kind of pumped about this new year.
After the last 24 months or whatever,
24 months.
I mean, finally getting back to like traveling, that's what my family, it's a big hobby of ours, and my kids love it, and so I'm looking forward to getting back out there and traveling a little bit and just really just enjoying and being in the moment. I feel like like you said, I mean, we've been a little down, depressed, whatever, and just being back to kind of whatever normal is, for us anyway. So I really am looking forward to just being able to celebrate that with my kids this summer.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, it was funny, I was at a place yesterday, and for the first time in a long time, they were like, sir, you've got to have a mask on to be in here. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, I need to go find one of the, and I'm not making any political statement, I'm just saying we get used to something, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, I'm like, whoa, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So, but I'm like you, Brooke, I think looking forward to the future and some fun. So how about something fun? So beside running, what's something fun you enjoy doing that maybe would that you do for be silly or fun? You like TikToks? Or you like to be in your kids' TikToks?
My daughter loves TikToks, and she asks me all the time to be in her TikToks.
Yeah, she likes you in those TikToks.
I don't know why. I mean, that should be a compliment, I guess.
Yeah.
But we actually do, minus the video, have a lot of dance parties in my house. So we crank up music, and we all take turns picking the song. And I mean, in the kitchen, it's some of our favorite pastimes, and my kids, if we don't do it for a while, they're like, Mom, we really need a dance party. And I'm like, well, let's go. Let's crank it up.
Do they like all kinds of music?
Oh, all kinds of music. I mean, and it's so different. I feel like now I'm like my parents. I feel like the stuff that I liked back then, and they were like, that's trash. I'm like, now I feel like it's... So I'm like, I'm getting so old.
It's funny. All of a sudden, we were watching American Idol, which I had not watched in years, and I'm back to watching it, and my kid's like, I know that song. I'm like, how do you know that song?
Yeah.
Like, I listened to it in the 70s, 80s. I'm like, I grew up to this 80s and song. They're like, oh, Dad, that song's awesome. Did you know it? I'm like, of course I know it.
Of course I know it.
I mean, there was radios and cassette tapes and, whatever else there. But any, I guess, any message you would say to those people, just kind of like you would in your chair, that maybe you're having a hard time right now, spring's in the air, but maybe they just don't feel like, I feel like I've been stuck away for 24 months and don't know how to come back into the world. Any words of encouragement you might give them? Yeah,
I feel like, don't be afraid. Like life ebbs and flows. So the past 24 months has been rough on a lot of people. And now, we're finally coming back out of it. And, it's just take it and embrace it, and whatever makes you feel comfortable as a person and for your family. I think, don't listen to the outside negative noise and just try to focus on the positive. And, it's sunshiny outside. It's beautiful. So, just enjoy the upside of it and kind of getting back to whatever this new normal may be.
Right, and don't worry what everybody says online and they're fake news. I mean, not fake news, but pretend life sometimes. Just be able to enjoy however you want to enjoy it as a person and get out. You don't have to do what everybody else does, but just go enjoy some sunshine and take baby steps if it needs to get back to used to things.
Enjoy the important people in your life, because they're not always here tomorrow.
And it's like you said, we were separated 6 feet apart, and now we're not. So.
Yep, exactly.
All right, well, I'm going to close this out. Brooke Butler, thanks for being with me, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor and a pleasure, Ryan.
Awesome, thanks. Folks, you've been listening to another Our Town Community Show. We'll see you again next time.